Live from 2 on your side. This is Buffalo Nightly News.
And we begin Buffalo Nightly News tonight at 7 with some breaking news. It's a breaking development in the war with Iran. President Trump, in just the last half hour, announcing a proposal for a 2-week ceasefire. In a post on Truth Social, the president wrote that after conversations with the Prime Minister of Pakistan, he'd agree to stop attacks on Iran, but only if Iran agrees to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, that critical waterway for 20% of the world's oil supply. This new post came just about an hour and a half before the president's original 8 p.m. deadline for Iran to reopen the strait, or the entire Iranian civilization, quote, would die. As for a long-term peace plan, the president says we're very far from that, but a 10-point proposal from Iran will be the basis for negotiations moving forward. It's not yet certain whether Iran will comply with the president's demands to reopen the strait, or what will happen if they do not. Well, happening right now as well, a state of emergency still remains in effect tonight in the town of Elma after a major water main break left thousands without water. Good evening, everyone. I'm Scott Levin. Mary Alice has the evening off tonight. And in the last hour, we learned the break is impacting nearby communities as well, with new boil water notices issued for parts of Orchard Park and Aurora. And as crews work to repair tonight all that damage, the town is setting up bottled water distribution for those impacted. Channel 2's Nate Mills is live in Elma, where the distribution just began. Hello there, Nate.
Hey, good evening, Scott. Yeah, we're here, and the officials in the town of Elma are rolling out a plan to distribute water bottles to the residents of the town, and also some nearby residents as well. They got hopped into line half an hour before the doors opened today for that water distribution. The town says limited bottled water distribution will take place tonight from 7 right now to 9 p.m. at the Elma Volunteer Fire Company and right here at the Jamison Road Volunteer Fire Company. This is only for residents affected by the outage, and you'll need to bring photo ID or proof of residency. Supplies are limited. The water main break happened at 10 a.m. at the Elma water plant this morning, and it impacted thousands of homes and businesses.
We have been in contact with several of our local businesses, and yes, there are several businesses that did have to close today as a result of the lack of water in that particular circumstance, and they are working with contractors and such to try to establish some water supplies to carry on with their businesses.
Crews are still working to repair the break, and residents with water are asked to limit use to essential needs. Well, officials say updates will be posted online as repairs continue and more resources become available. Officials also said that everyone waiting in this line will be limited to 2 gallons of water per box that they receive. Live and on your side in Elma, Nate Mills, Channel 2 News.
Very good, Nate. Thank you for that update tonight. And as we told you, a boil water notice is now in effect for parts of Orchard Park and Aurora because of that water main break in Elma. Now, the Erie County Water Authority says it impacts Willard Shear and Stony Brook roads in Orchard Park from the Elma Town line to I-90 Stony Brook Road. In Aurora, the notice includes areas between Bowen Road and the Elma Town line, as well as sections between Girdle Road, Route 400, and the village of East Aurora. Officials say residents in these areas should boil all water before drinking, cooking, or even brushing their teeth until further notice is given. Also tonight, Varysburg Water District customers, they're still under a boil water order tonight. Today, Wyoming County officials say that water conservation is no longer necessary. Water pressure has been fully restored for all customers, and officials say storage tank levels, they have fortunately improved after a leak caused the system to lose its pressure. Until bacterial testing confirms the water is safe to drink, customers are still advised to boil tap water for 1 minute and cool before using, or use bottled water. Boiled or bottled water should be used for drinking, making ice, washing dishes, brushing teeth, and for preparing food. Turning now to the weather. It is a chillier day across western New York today. Here's a live look now. This is Niagara Falls tonight. Temperatures will continue to drop as we head into the overnight, but then we should be warming back up. Storm Team 2 meteorologist Dan Russell is up on the roof tonight with the latest on your forecast. Dan, we're looking forward to some warmer temperatures.
Absolutely, Scott. It wasn't that long ago, just a couple of days, we had temperatures in the 70s and 60s. And that kind of warmth is going to be making a quick comeback. Of course, today has been the exception to some of that warmer weather with just unseasonably chilly conditions. But we are finishing up the day, at least with some sunshine. But temperatures are already beginning to tumble down to now 30 at the airport in Buffalo. In many spots, Clarence now you're down to 29 degrees. East Aurora down to 28, 27 in Jamestown. And we'll continue to see these numbers drop here as we go through the overnight with pretty much moonlit, clear skies. Most picking up lows in the upper teens and low 20s. So it is setting up to be a clear, quiet, cold night. Tomorrow, though, after a frosty start, it does turn more seasonal. We're going to get temperatures back to the 50s for the afternoon. A lot of sunshine there. That sunshine then fades away and we'll have showers, rain showers here as we do finish up the week. Luckily, it does look as though that rain clears out in time for the weekend. Of course, I'll go over all this for you with Future Look in just a little bit. Scott?
Very good, Dan. Thank you. And you can always see the weather conditions on our app. It's free streaming right now. This is a live look at our 24/7 radar right now on WGRZ+. You can download it on your smart television for live local news when you need it most. Well, tonight we also have new video showing that deadly crash involving a local business owner. The video was just released following an investigation by the New York State Attorney General's office, and we do want to warn you tonight, it may be difficult for some to watch. It shows the moments when an off-duty member of the Erie County Sheriff's Office pulled out of a parking lot on Elmwood Avenue and then hit 82-year-old Carl Sloan. Sloan was then taken to the hospital where he died the next day. By law, the AG's office investigates any death that involves a member of law enforcement. Jonathan White with the Allentown Association says Sloan was a fixture in the Allentown neighborhood for half a century.
Wonderful neighbors, wonderful business owners. He was a high school teacher, really beloved in the community. So to actually witness the tragedy is just, I think, shocking.
Tonight we're also hearing from the Erie County Sheriff's Office, which says that off-duty member was driving his personal vehicle after his shift had ended. In his statement, the Sheriff's Office goes on to say, in part, quote, "We continue to await the results of the Attorney General's investigation and refer any request for comment to her office," end quote. Well, within the last hour and a half, we have also learned that a 22-year-old man was taken into custody in connection with a fatal shooting on Buffalo's east side. A city spokesperson tells us Angel Gonzalez Rondon was arrested and charged with murder and criminal possession of a weapon, among various other charges. Officers responded to Walden Avenue near Eddie Dawson Park right around 9:30 Monday night, where they found 21-year-old Jihad Gibbs with gunshot wounds. He was rushed to ECMC, where he later died. The 69-year-old man has died days after a crash on Grand Island. The Erie County Sheriff's Office says that this happened last Friday just before 6 in the morning. Investigators say the man was driving north on Grand Island Boulevard and was trying to make a left turn into the Tops parking lot when he failed to yield to an oncoming truck and collided with it. He was taken to ECMC and died yesterday from his injuries. His name has not been released and the investigation continues. And we continue to follow some developing news for you tonight that will certainly shake up the political landscape here in Western New York. Two on Your Side has confirmed that Assembly Majority Leader Crystal Peoples-Stokes is not seeking re-election. Two on Your Side's Nate Benson has confirmed this news for us tonight. He is in our newsroom with the latest. Nate?
Yeah, good evening, Scott. Politico was the first to report this news out of Albany today, but I've been able to confirm it through multiple sources this afternoon. Crystal Peoples-Stokes will not be seeking re-election and will be retiring from the New York State Legislature. The majority leader was first elected to the Assembly back in 2003 after serving on the Erie County Legislature between 1993 and 2002. She defeated Assemblyman Arthur Eve in that Assembly election. She also served in the Assembly for the last 23 years and has since 2018 been the majority leader of the Assembly, which arguably makes her one of the top-ranking Democrats in the legislature across the state. Her key legislation, one that she fought for years, was advocating for legalizing recreational marijuana in New York State. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo signed that bill into law on March 31st, 2021. Majority Leader Crystal Peoples-Stokes also was a huge supporter of the Kensington Expressway redevelopment, including that cap and tunnel plan the DOT had. However, that project got tied up in litigation, and the DOT has since gone back to the drawing board on that. Now, this will certainly shake things up politically here in Western New York, as there are certainly members of the Buffalo Common Council and the Erie County Legislature that are already being floated as potential candidates for that seat, and depending on who runs, there could be ripple effects on who's elected. We also don't know right now when the majority leader plans to retire. Will it be at the end of this year or when her term wraps up, or possibly before that? She has a press conference planned for 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, and we will bring you that live on WGRZ+. On your side, Nate Benson, Channel 2 News.
Very good, Nate. Thank you. And after 2 years in court, a Hamburg man is giving up his fight with the state to retrieve the pet alligator that it seized from him. Channel 2's Dave McKinley spoke with the man's attorney, who says his client felt even if he ultimately won this case, it wouldn't be worth the eventual costs.
Following the gator's seizure, which the state says was made because Caballero had failed for 3 years to obtain, under a more recently passed law, a needed dangerous animal license, Albert eventually was taken to a sanctuary in Beaumont, Texas. Just over a year ago, a judge gave the state 30 days to review Caballero's renewed application to keep Albert, and said that if it didn't, it would automatically be renewed. The state asked the appellate division of state Supreme Court in Rochester for more time, and then, last summer, denied Caballero's permit. The fight could have lasted longer, however.
It's been expensive, long, hard.
And against the state's limitless pockets, Caballero, according to his lawyer, found himself in the jaws of a difficult decision.
It's going to be another appeal, another year and a half of litigation. By that time, it's going to be 3.5, 4 years. And even if we win, I get this thing back and the license gets reinstated. And then I got to deal with the state, who is going to be all over me for the rest of my life.
Even if he gained Albert's return, he worried about his health.
Bringing the alligator out of a situation he's been in for 2 years, I don't know how good that is for him.
He decided enough was enough.
And Tony's 2 years older, he's 66, and he doesn't really want to have to deal with the state all the time in his backyard. So I think it was a combination of things.
Here's another thing. Albert may not be the only one living the remainder of his life out of state.
He doesn't like how he was treated by the state, and I don't blame him. And I don't think he wants to, live here and give them his tax revenue anymore. So that's his choice, but he feels he was mistreated by the government.
On your side, Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Dave. Coming up here on Buffalo Nightly News, we are learning more about Mayor Sean Ryan's pick for Buffalo Police Commissioner. Next, we're going to hear from an expert who worked closely with Erica Shields. Plus, as the busy season wraps up, the Broadway Market is looking ahead to some big changes this year. Hear more about their plans in tonight's Nightly Briefing. And welcome back. Erica Shields is expected to be confirmed as the next Buffalo Police Commissioner in the month of May. Of course, she spent much of her law enforcement career down in Atlanta, Georgia. 2 News Side's Claudine Ewing spoke with an expert who worked very closely with her.
She was a really good police chief here in Atlanta for several years.
Dean Dabney, chair of Georgia State University's Criminal Justice and Criminology Department, is a longtime research partner with Atlanta PD. He worked on several projects with Erica Shields.
She's a straight shooter.
He said she led the department through trying times, budget restrictions, staffing, and the high-profile police shooting of a man in a Wendy's parking lot in Atlanta. It was after that when she stepped down, having been chief from 2016 to 2020. But overall, he says she communicated her approach well.
She did some things that were not were difficult for the rank and file to kind of wrap their head around or to kind of swallow, in the sense that she instituted a no chase policy, and she also instituted a body cam policy that was pretty stringent and led to folks being suspended without pay if they weren't complying.
He said it was challenging. Now she's walking into a department where the actions of police officers has resulted in paying nearly $1 million for civil rights violations. Dabney says Shields will be clear in her expectations on policies.
Is not afraid to make the tough decisions on the back end.
She rose through the ranks as a woman at a time when it was not easy for a female to get respect.
And I think her hallmark was, again, transparency and her willingness to communicate both within the house to the officers, and externally.
She last worked as a police chief in Louisville from 2021 to 2023 before resigning when a new administration took over.
She's a solid choice for Buffalo.
I ran into this in Atlanta.
Thank you, Claudine. And tonight we're also hearing some local reaction to the new Buffalo Police Commissioner's pick. That's where we begin tonight's Nightly Briefing.
I'm Chelsea Swift. The incoming Buffalo Police Commissioner is meeting with community leaders and organizations, including Pastor James Giles, who says he's encouraged by this choice for the city.
I'm Courtney Courtwright. A new national survey by the group Consumer Affairs finding that Buffalo ranks among the worst mid-size markets for home buyers, based on factors like affordability, competition, and livability. That report ranking Buffalo 36 out of 45 mid-sized markets.
I'm Ron Plants here at Channel 2, and state lawmakers in Albany passed another budget extender today to keep the state government in operation. That's because the state budget is now nearly a week late. Now, the watchdog group called Reinvent Albany, they're of the opinion that Governor Hochul actually likes late state budgets because it gives her more power. The governor's office responding that the governor is seeking a transparent budget process to make sure that there is a safe and affordable budget for state residents.
I'm Melissa Clausell in the Broadway market. This market had some of the busiest days of the year this past Easter weekend and Dingus Day, and now with things dying down, a lot of vendors and business owners are looking to the future. Renovations on this market are supposed to start late summer. They say that brings them new hope for sustained business throughout the year, not just Easter weekend and Dingus Day.
Thank you all. And temperatures, fortunately, are warming back up soon, and the New York Power Authority is getting ready to remove the ice boom on the Niagara River. This is video from back in January when it was first installed. The spokesperson telling us boats will be out on the river this week, beginning work as long as weather permits. Heavy winds last week certainly pushed some ice over top of the boom, so crews will have to break that up first to get access for removal.